Community Analyst Online is a web-based tool that provides GIS mapping software capabilities in an easy-to-use way. With Community Analyst, there is no installation needed, as it is a cloud-based mapping solution that you can leverage GIS capabilities that are available on desktop, but do it in a much more streamlined format. So let's get started using Community Analyst Online. In order to log into Community Analyst Online, you go to communityanalystonline.arcgis.com and you log in using your ArcGIS Online for Organizations account. Once there, I would suggest that you go through these options so that you can see what Community Analyst Online will allow you to do. The functionality within Community Analyst allows you to build maps and reports for specific areas that you might be interested in. Community Analyst Online provides demographic, business, lifestyle, consumer, and economic data, and it allows you to integrate all of this type of data together in order to get a much better understanding of your geography. So let's get started with this. To get started, we're going to simply click on the Maps tab. Once here, we're going to see that we have three different options. We have the My Content area, which will show all the sites that you have done research on previously. And as you can see in mine, I haven't done anything yet, so there's no sites in here. You can then also create maps from data. You can create color-coded maps for specific variables. You can do a smart map search, business facilities search, and then you can add even your own maps that you've generated in ArcGIS Online. And then the last tab here, it allows you to define the areas that you want for your reports. And this is where we're going to start. If you look here, you can see that you have a number of different ways of creating the geography that you're interested in researching. You can simply put an address in, or a latitude, longitude. You can select a geography from various geographies from the US Census. You can draw your own polygon around your area of interest, or you can import an Excel spreadsheet that has addresses or a zipped shapefile. And this tends to be my preferred method because oftentimes I have a shapefile from ArcGIS Desktop that I want to bring in to the software program. So let's click on that one to begin. So when I click on this, it asks me to navigate to where my file is that I wish to import. But I need to make sure that I'm reading the tips that they have here, otherwise my import may not be successful. It says the file size can only be 1 meg, no larger, and it has to be point or polygon files. For shape files, the file limitation is 3 megs, and it has to have at least 1,000 or less records to be imported. So what I'm going to actually import is going to be the shapefile that I have for Lebanon County municipalities. I'm going to click on Browse, and then I'm going to go to where I have that particular data. And there's my zip file. Hit Open, and then I simply click Import. In the next screen that will come up, you will be asked to select what attribute from the table that you want it to label upon. And I want it to be the municipality name, so I'm going to select Municipal 1. And I want this as multiple sites, and you can change your colors. I'm just going to keep it as is. And now this has been saved into the My Content area. And now that we have imported our geography, it's now time to look at reports that we might want for our township. So we click on Get Reports. It shows all our sites that we're looking at, and you can see them listed up there. And I'm going to expand this part out a little bit more. Notice that once we get to the reports area, it has predefined reports that we can run for our townships. And if you want to get a sample of what each one looks like so that you have an idea of the type of data that's included in each of the reports, you simply click a sample report, and it will generate a report for a random geography. So you can see that when we click on the 2010 census profile, it's giving us population by race, sex, age, household data, and so on. It gives us quite a bit of really good information. So it's just a way of understanding what you're getting with each report. If you click on the identify tool here, or the I tool, this is going to tell you the vintage of your data, essentially what year is it from, what's the data source, and so forth. Another thing with all of these reports that you see here, you have the ability to generate either in an Excel, a PDF, or both. I tend to be a big fan of doing both because a PDF is really great if you want to share it with others because it looks professional and polished. And Excel is great if you want to be doing more data analytics with it, such as generating charts and graphs, or maybe bringing some of that into GIS at some point. So I'm, like I said, a big fan of getting both. So you can take your time looking through what these are. I'm going to generate just one report, and I'm going to generate the business summary for all the townships in Lebanon County. And down here you can put a report subtitle, and I'm going to put prepared by my name, and you can put anything there that you wish. You can opt to get it sent to you as an all-in-one PDF, or you can just simply click Run Now to do them individually. I'm going to click Run All. And notice that when they're done, it says Open Report. So it allows you to open the report and save it to a predefined destination. So when I open up the business summary for North Lebanon Township, we can see that it gives us all that information. And if we just keep going down that list, we're going to be able to open all of those kinds of things. One of the things that I would suggest is generating an all-in-one PDF, because that makes it easy, and it sends it right to your email address, so that you have it all in one big package. So that is how we run reports. You can also do comparison reports, where you compare the various townships with each other, and you can select what you want to compare, and you can see that we have all of these factors down here on which we can compare. So if you want to compare, say, median income of a particular area, you can compare that median income. And that, I actually didn't want to really click that, but you can see what happens here. It's showing the per capita, median income, and average household income, and we can look at it for 2016 and 2020. I probably would not suggest comparing this many, just because it's hard and it gets a little bit unwieldy, but it's a way of getting a sense of those particular factors. You can export this to Excel if you wish, so that you have it outside of this mapping application. Another option that's allowed is for you to build your own customized reports, and taking factors from each of those reports that we saw previously, and just taking bits and pieces from each one, or just a couple, and building that customized report. And I tend to like using these because there's usually no one report that works completely for me. This allows me to get exactly what I want when creating a report. So that's just a little bit about the reports area. Going back to the maps area, I'm going to go to my content area, and I'm going to turn off all of my townships, because I want to bring in some other data for us to examine, so you can see some more functionality that's available with our or with Community Analyst Online. Okay, so and we will, in this define areas for reports, we had these 4 options available to us. And we chose to do the import file, and we imported a shapefile. Another one that's available, and we won't actually do this one, but I'll show you what you can get. You can select from these particular geographies. So these are like the predefined geographies that are available within it. So it's all census enumeration units is essentially what it is. So census tracts, block groups, zip codes, and so forth. So if you wanted to say compare the zip codes within Lebanon County, you would select zip codes. So this just makes it a little bit easier, and it means that you don't have to have your own shapefile to import of these particular areas. The other one that I think is probably the most used is the one where you enter an address. Perhaps you have an address and you want to know what's happening within a specific radius of that address. You can input that address and then build reports for rings, drive times, or walk times around that particular location. The address that I'm going to input is for East Hanover Township's township office. So I'm going to put the address in, city, and then I'm going to name my location, and it's going to be called East Hanover Township Office. And I'm going to click go, and I'll put that location on the map. Now I can do things in a couple of different ways here. And when I add it, it will allow me to add rings, drive time, or walk time. It will allow me to edit or delete the point, and it will allow me to rename. So I can do some work over here, but a lot of that same stuff I can also do over here. And this is saying that I can add rings within a certain radius, or a drive time, or a walk time. So maybe you're interested in knowing, what the population is like within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and 15 minutes. I can add those drive times and hit apply, and it will generate the 5, 10, and 15 minute drive times. And this might just take a second. So you can see everything that can be reached within those amounts of minutes. Then the neat thing is you can get reports for these different drive times. So like, again, if you want those reports that we just looked at, if you wanted to get, say the income report of the population within those areas, you can do that. You can also look at the infographics here of the drive time within 5 minutes. It will give you some basic population characteristics. So if I click on that, I first get the age pyramid for everything within 5 minutes, and you can see what that looks like. So it's basically showing how many are in the different age cohorts and how many males and females there are. If I hit the next button, it will tell me about the tapestry segments. And tapestry is a really neat, fun thing. It combines demographic characteristics with consumer spending patterns and lifestyle choices, and it categorizes every neighborhood in the United States into one of 66 categories, and this particular one is characterized by salt of the earth. And when you click down on that, you can get an idea of what that means. Like the median age is 43, most tend to be married couples, professional services, most have a high school diploma only, and so forth. And then you can click to view the full segment profile that gives you detailed information about that particular population segment. And the idea behind this is that it's telling what the neighborhoods are like, the socioeconomic traits. This allows the ability to market to this type of population better by knowing their population and characteristics. So this is just gives a lot of detailed information about that particular population within that 5-minute drive time, and we can do the same for all of the others. And if we keep going through this, we're going to get infographics for a lot of different factors. And yeah, just keep going through and you can get lots of really good information about that. So this is really a powerful tool to really understand communities, help make policy decisions, and if you're writing a grant or doing work along that line, a lot of times you need really good demographic data to support that grant application. This is a wonderful place to go to get that supporting documentation that you might need. So with that, that is essentially just an overview of Community Analyst Online. There's quite a bit that you can do with this, but those are some of the basics. Make sure you look at these tools over here. This just allows you to navigate your map a bit better or create a PDF of what you're looking at on your screen.